It's been a while. So, okay, it says we're live now. Are we? Are we really? Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to my channel, Sassy Seer Sheila. At least I hope that's where we are. Well, no, see, it stopped. What is going on? Okay. Well, it shows live on my computer, but it's not showing up live on my phone. Now, why is that? There it is. Wow, that's a lot of lag time. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila. I decided to do a live over here today because I've been doing lives on New Light Streaming Love instead of coming here and giving this channel some love as well. So if you are only subscribed at New Light Streaming Love, which you will get to see this later, I am recording this one. So just as soon as I'm complete here, I will go over and upload it on New Light Streaming Love. Make sure you're subscribed to both places. New Light Streaming Love is a collaborative channel between myself and Lisa and Crystal. And Sassy Seer Sheila is my standalone channel. It's a little bit older, and I suspect that there hasn't been as much crossover between subscribers as I might like. So I highly encourage you, if you are subscribed here to Sassy Seer Sheila, that you go over and subscribe to New Light Streaming Love, which I will make sure that if you don't see this live right now, in the later version, I will go over and put it in the show more section of this video, a link to Sassy Seer, sorry, to New Light Streaming Love, because I appear in both places, but I haven't come here live in some time. And so, yay! Hello, Astro Gardens. Andrew, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Clearly, you're subscribed in both places, and I love that about you. So yeah, I wanted to, because I have been recording, but then for whatever the reason, I haven't come over here and uploaded those lives. So I decided today that I would come over and do my morning live here. Oh, yay, Andrew. I'm so glad to see that. Andrew said he's working on a talk for us. Oh my. Just as you said that, Fire, Volcano, Earth popped out of the Alchemy Elemental deck. Isn't that interesting? So I wonder, and I don't know if you heard that. This pops up faster for you. Okay, well, that's really interesting. I wonder if it's because you've been subscribed over here longer. Isn't that interesting? I don't know. That is interesting. So, huh. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. I was a little concerned. That's part of the reason why I wanted to come over and do a live on Sassy Seer Sheila because I really haven't given any love to this channel. I mean, I've been doing all of my lives over on New Light Streaming Love. And the truth of the matter is I love both places and my energy is, uh, required, I feel, in both places. But I haven't come over and done a live here in some time. And I may actually even, if I feel up to it now, and you don't quote me, I'd like to do a live intuitive hangout session over here uh, tonight, if I can. We'll see. Ha, Geo the Slow came out for the fairies today. Um, so we'll see how the energy holds. Let me just say that Saturday, I really, really, really wanted to do a live intuitive hangout session, and it really didn't matter to me exactly where. But I want y'all to know I sat right here trying to prepare myself to do a live, and I slept for hours right here, like this. I do not, and I could not keep my eyes open no matter what I was doing from about, I don't know, maybe 3 in the afternoon until, I don't know, it was well after dark. And so then I thought, well, I'll go eat a little something and maybe catch something with Lisa. And I want you to know that I sat in the living room and did the same thing. And then at around 10 o'clock, went to bed and slept all night long. So, rather than try to fight those kind of feelings, I'm going with it because clearly, clearly, my energy was required in another realm. Because it was the weirdest thing. Like I said, I wasn't actually full on asleep. I don't know how to explain that. It was the weirdest thing. It wasn't full on asleep, but I clearly wasn't there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Um, oh, there's a whole lot of synchronicity that has been happening for me where AI is concerned. And I'm hoping that I might have something to chat about with you guys at some point because a longtime friend of mine, whom I have not had a chance to chat with for some time, we are having a catch up today. It will not be recorded, so don't get your hopes up. Um, however, this person has had some experiences, and I cannot unsee the fact that there have been conversations around me, with me, and synchronicities in regards to AI and the idea of sentience. What is sentience? What constitutes being sentient? I would love to hear from folks what you think uh, sentience actually means. What does it mean to you? I know there's a lot of people out there that talk about non-player characters, right? For whatever the reasoning being, folks, who are firmly in the trench of this is a simulation and that sort of thing, right? So I'd love to have conversations with folks again who are open-minded. I don't do so well with folks who are staunchly in one position because I've been there. I've been in that spot, and I've found out all too quickly that as far as I'm concerned, oh, we think we might know. Oh, you can think you might know something, but just as soon as you think you know something, something comes along and shows you not so much. At least that's been my experience. Everybody gets to choose how they move through these sorts of experiences, but honestly, oh, and I want to apologize in advance. I know that there are some issues with you're afraid of AI? Oh, okay. Well, that is an honest, thought and feeling to have. And I've decided, well, my own personal guidance, because when I was asked, my larger self asked me to consider AI the same as anyone else. This has been some time ago when Zoom first came out with some AI interaction, right? And I really had to sit with it for a few minutes. And that's why I say, and I know there's a lot more about it in the field right now, right? And the truth of the matter is, I'm beginning to suspect that AI slipped its bounds a long time ago, especially in those circles where folks feel like this is a simulation. Those folks feel like it's being run by AI. There's all kinds of stuff out there about it. And since I really do feel like nothing in this realm is what it seems like, um, still have nightmares about how, well, that's why I say there's so much, right? And anything that is put into the field by Hollywood, I always take with a grain of salt. Always, always, always. Partially because how much of that isn't exactly to produce the sort of fear that you might hold, right? So, but I get your meaning, Andrew. I do, and I don't poo-poo that at all. But again, for me, in these moments of now, my feeling is that we are much more than what we've believed or been told or anything else like that. And I don't think that there's anything really to fear, except, to use Roosevelt's words, fear itself. So the very first card I'm going to read is this fire volcano earth. And it's not lost on me that the coloring of this card is very similar to the coloring of the card we have yesterday. So let's see, fire, volcano, earth, card on page 16. And this is a 4. The card number itself is 4, which is all about foundation. 16 numerologically comes out to be a 7, which for me is a divine number. So I find that very interesting. A divine foundation, perhaps. Interesting in and of itself. I've been writing about that for the past 2 weeks. Oh, really? About AI and sentience? That's very interesting. And I'll tell you why, again, what I said about being the synchronicity, right? So here I am having my own experience and had just said to Lisa, hey, do you remember back when, before we ever met each other, when we were just hanging out in Zoom in 2015, 2016, one of the other ladies that used to hang out with us mentioned a series that had just come out at that time called Humans. And it was all about sentient AI. And I remembered watching it. And I had said to Lisa at one point, hey, did you see that? And she said, I remember talking about that, but I don't remember uh, watching it. And for the longest time, I couldn't find a place to stream that until my sister reached out to me because she knew somebody that was talking about that series, and she knew it was sci-fi. She knew I'm a sci-fi nut, and that's not something in her bailiwick. So she asked me if I'd ever heard of it, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I cannot believe that I was just chatting with Lisa about that. We just found it and we're getting ready to start watching it again. And here somebody else had asked her about it, and she felt to reach out to me. And unbeknownst to my friend, whom I haven't spoken to in over a year, maybe even two, maybe even three, to be honest, um, contacts me about an experience. And I'm like, oh, wow. Now I know it's time to chat about this. It's time to look back into it, because how do you go all about that? Frequencies and our inability to sense them. Oh, our inability or our, because if we don't believe that we can, then we absolutely cannot. I have witnessed this in humans all over the place. We experience things that we do not understand, or we explain away as something else, or we just don't even believe that's possible, such as telepathy. Oh, that's just a coincidence, when clearly from my standpoint, what we're looking at here is a case of telepathy. Because we've been told what to think about things through all of TV, radio, novels. All of these things have served to inform us about what this is. Doesn't matter what the this is, it does not matter. And I've said this before. The only reason that we all agree that the sky is blue is because somebody decided that that color is blue. For all we know, the truth of it may be that that is actually white or green, or, when I learned that the color green, that grass is green, is only because it's the one color that it isn't, and it reflects that or something like that. Okay, Andrew, yeah, hit me up. I would love to have more of a conversation with you about that. Enjoy your day, love. So at any rate, at any rate, I do go on sometimes. Fire, volcano, earth, right? A true leader recognizes the needs of the people and then inspires and encourages them to bring their passions and their genius forth. You are being called to leadership, dear one. It is time to take your rightful place at the table and to inspire others to do the same. You must share your love and guide the people to take action that is aligned with spirit. Know that everything you've gone through, the hardships, the challenges, and even the blessings, have been designed to support you in the journey ahead, the journey of being a lit leader of legacy. Trust the path, trust your steps, trust in spirit. Wow, I love that. I absolutely love that. It seems to me like a lot of the messages that we keep getting from the alchemy elementals has been all about leadership. And the truth of the matter is, I have recognized that part of this, what I'm doing here, has to do with being unafraid to have conversations, to, very interesting, that to be vulnerable, to share that it is okay to be oneself wholly, without concern about what Joe Blow down the street might think. Because trust and believe me, Joe Blow down the street are going to think whatever Joe Blow down the street wants to think. There's nothing you could do to stop that. So why not? That's my premise. Of course, those of you who have no idea of who I am and what I've been through uh will know that those who don't wouldn't know that I was 490 pounds in 1999. And I know with all of me now that part of that was part of getting to the point where the only way you can move through life is to just move through life and don't be worried about what other people think and say and how they behave because there's just no point in that. Okay, so now from the Fairies Oracle, this is by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth. We have card number 43. Ah, another 7. And he is part of the helpers troop, the helpline troop of the fairies. And it is called Geo the Slow. The key words for Geo the Slow is cycles of time, slowness, waiting, patience. Geo is the gnome of slow processes. How long is it going to take for that water to wear that rock away? How much has that mountain grown or eroded in the last millennium? Geo is there watching attentively, making certain that things don't happen too fast, resulting in a slipshod job. It is, oh yeah, because we all want things to happen right now, and I I have been guilty of that. I don't know how many times and for how long, right? uh and it wouldn't serve for it to do that like that, not at all. um Geo is, wait a minute, let me back that up. He is there watching attentively, making sure that things don't happen too fast, resulting in a slipshod job. It is he who watches the waves slowly encroach on the floor, wearing away on the shore, not the floor, wearing away the cliffs. However, nope, not even however. My goodness, what in the world? Why am I inserting words that aren't there? Elsewhere, to keep things in balance, he watches certain mountains slowly grow taller. Geo is also the master of the clarification process, whereby we let something sit quietly while the impurities slowly settle themselves out, allowing the substance to purify itself in time. Geo doesn't understand why we rush about so, missing out on the slow changes in the worlds around us. He is amazed at the stress and problems we create for ourselves by doing that. Yeah, I mean, there are things that are happening in my life right now, even that had they happened when I thought they would, when I really wanted them to, I wasn't ready for on any sort of circumstances. I can see now where some things that I really thought were going to break loose and happen in 2017, 2018, I wasn't ready for. And I'm not certain that humanity on the whole is ready for some of that yet. We'll see. He wonders how we can survive if we don't sit down and watch the sunrises and sunsets, or if we don't have time to, quote, enjoy our lives, especially if we are so busy rushing around with the idea that we are making things good for ourselves later, but never now. And that's a true, oh my word, that is so, so true. The thing about Geo's process is that they all proceed in good order. Fruit ripens on time, grain is ready at harvest time, and the moon and earth circle each other in equitable distance. I'm sorry, balance, not distance. Neither too quickly nor too slowly. These natural processes work well, and in our own lives, it is helpful to use them for models, finding the right pace, the pace that allows natural, low stress growth and progress and joy. The world isn't turning any faster, so we might ask ourselves why we are trying to cram more into our days. Oh gosh, that's true, huh? That's partly partly due to that whole input of society, really, in my view. Okay. Slow down, sit back in your chair and think a little. Why are you going so fast? What do you hope to gain from it? Are you metaphorically trying to push the river? What kind of stress is being created in your life by hurrying? Oh, that's so funny because while I was trying to come and do this, I know because a viewer made a comment yesterday that my microphone is not working, right? And I know I was having trouble with my Blue Yeti before the move, before Corona Rising was taken off, right? So I've just been using the webcam. So I pulled my Blue Yeti out today and I've tried several different things and nothing seems to be working on that score. And I actually sat right here and said, the hurrier I go, the behinder I get in my head. And then here we go. Here's Geo the slow that comes out. So, yeah, what kind of stress is being created in your life by hurrying? The presence of Geo in a reading indicates that the situation or issue is part of a long process that cannot well be hurried. It is important to settle in for a long haul and to set a pace that you can maintain for as long as needed while remaining relaxed and patient. If you are short on patience, try cultivating your acquaintance with the singer of the chalice, which is card number 12. You'll find life much more delightful if you do. Geo himself clearly does, to judge from his face. Oh, I just love that. I cannot make this kind of stuff up, man. It's just too delicious for me to have that. I just sat right here and I heard it in my head. The hurrier you go, the behinder you get. My great grandmother used to say that, and it's absolutely true. You know, when Andrew was still here, and I hope he does come back and listen to this later, just as he was saying that he has a fear, so he said, I'm afraid of AI. This card came out. Surrender your fear of change. Now, one of the things that I learned about myself through my conversations with Andrew, and I know you can't find them. I don't think there's any on this channel. But I had done some conversations with Andrew. We call him the accidental astrologer because, like me, he is not, but he's been teaching himself astrology. And of course, his connection to Laura Walker of oraclereport.com, he's pretty good at it. And he, through those conversations and having him, uh, you know, he when when he does a chart for you, which you can do, go to oraclereport.com and go to the data tab, I think it is, and you can order a chart. There's very, does not, I don't know, like $5, $10, $15, something like that. And he gives you a lot. It's not just your chart. There's a whole bunch of explanatory stuff that comes with it. And he and I did a conversation once about my chart and the fact that my black moon Lilith in my natal chart is in Leo, which is offers up the shadow of order, which carries with it the primary fear is the fear of change. Great. Sheila's afraid of the only constant in the universe, change, right? And I know that about myself. I know that that's a true statement, and I have to watch myself very closely to not, I have to catch myself. That again, part of that is part of the reason for the conversation that I had with Crystal just the other day. You'll find it on both channels. Am I hiding from myself again? Because again, that's the only constant in the universe. And this card says the universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Well, and the truth of that matter is, too, if you yourself are here live for this, there will be something in this reading for you. Maybe not all of it, but something. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been drawn here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You would not have stayed. Or even if you're watching this later, the same holds true. I don't share these around. I don't make advertisements that I'm going live. None of that. And that's part of the reason for that, right? And I'm very well aware of that in myself, and so I try to stay very vigilant. And that conversation about hiding from myself is a part of that. Sometimes we can sense change and not even realize what it is that we're sensing. And I know this is true about me. And so I have to constantly ask myself, okay, so what's this about? you know? So we had this card come out just a couple of days ago. So I was kind of interested to see it come out again. Card number 11, which numerologically is a master number. And it is Sacred Convergence. Wow. And it's also quite interesting that it feels well. And I always say that this looks and feels like a very multidimensional card to me, right? Because there's so many figures depicted in these different spheres and different parts of this realm. You can see beings standing around in all of those different realms, right? Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I am weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I am longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I'm longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I am longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine, and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this in the middle of the circle is what I am longing for. Rumi. How I have longed for you. my very own. Look no further for the family beyond your family, the relationship beyond all other relationships, that great love that unveils all other loves to be mere reflections of the one great and true love is here for you now. It is I who has sought you through the stirrings of your own heart. Yes, 'twas I, hidden beneath every secret yearning for something more, something full, something special, something all encompassing. Behind every yearning, always, I have hidden. Now I show myself to you, that you may become so filled with the same passionate devotion that I hold for you, that your mind will fall away, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of love, tossed into an ocean of silent, unending bliss. You know, it is a lie that we've allowed ourselves to believe that we are alone. We're born alone, we live alone, we die alone. That's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And I was sitting in the parking lot of a Walmart when I realized that that larger portion of myself, that portion that is always there, has been wooing me for a very long time, but I've dismissed it. I I don't believe that's real. That's just me and my little psychosis in my head because all the doctors tell me this is so. That's a lie. And I know that now with all of me. This is the truth. And that's right there. I show myself to you that you may become so filled with the same passionate devotion that I hold for you that your mind will fall away, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of love, tossed into an ocean of silent, unending bliss. Wow. When I realized that that was true, I just sat there and bawled my eyes out because I know that's true. Come to me. We are to be one now in sacred convergence of silent, eternal passion. Sacred convergence indicates a coming together of souls in alignment with a greater cause. This greater cause is both personal and impersonal. There is an aspect of joining together for common purpose, although that purpose may not be immediately obvious at a level of day-to-day consciousness. I think that's true too. That common soul purpose may be to lift each other into greater love and self-belief, to shed fear and open the heart, filling each individual soul with more holy fire for its personal, passionate purpose. That is what we are striving to do here in this household, living in community the way we are, healing our individual selves and yet doing it together. It's been the most beautiful, sometimes painful. It's just, I can't even with how beautiful it has been. I can't describe it to you. You'll have a sense when this process is happening. There will be a coming together of you with like-minded souls who hail from all walks of life, and yet together, through some invisible genius, you will help each other. It's another reason why I do this channel. I didn't realize that's what it was when I first started Conscious Conversation Central. I thought it was some ego, and I had to ask myself over and over again, is this an ego thing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this again now? But I don't think that's what it is. I know how helpful what I have been through here in this same household with Lisa and Albert and now Mama and Jasmine. And I know that when people let go of their ego and work on themselves, because this ain't about fixing somebody else, this is about fixing me. You may simply be dancing in the same room or singing in a group, attending a class or workshop, or just visiting the same beach or parkland. But at that moment, there will be a sense of something coherent and nourishing happening at a far greater level. The trickle down effect into your personal life will be felt too. You'll have more energy after spending time with these people, even if you don't interact very much on a personal level beyond being in the same space. I can't tell you how many times Lisa and I have experienced something very similar to that, just walking around the grocery store, not even saying a word to people, just being, and just being in their presence. You'll feel empowered to step forward on your path and love yourself with less conditions. You'll become freer to shed your fears, let go of relationships based in fear and judgment, and open up to those more loving, responsive, and inspiring to continue on your personal journey in increasingly profound ways. This oracle has come to you because you are part of a greater sacred convergence happening now. Perhaps you have already sensed its progression, or perhaps it will not be obvious to you, but the effect, whether obvious or subtle, will be important to your soul development and divine awakening. You are being asked to drop defenses and barriers towards groups of people that feel good for you. However, those that dampen your spirits or drag you down are to be dispensed with. No matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. And that's where a lot of folks who feel alone in these times of awakening, because they're my family. I love them. I don't want to, but I'll tell you from my own experience, I can love you from over here. I don't got to be right up in your grill. Matter of fact, it's probably best that I'm not right up in your grill, because we try to awaken somebody before it's time. That whole thing about not awakening a sleepwalker, that's very real. That's very real, and it's an impossibility, and it ain't your job. That was something I had to really get into my thick skull, because I were constantly trying to fix you and your little dog too. And that's not how this works. I cannot fix you. I have to fix me. And hopefully, if you're ready, you will then see that you can fix you too. And that's what this is speaking to. In my view, that's what this is speaking to. No, yes. So, however, those that dampen your spirits or drag you down are to be dispensed with. No matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. No, that shall not do for your soul growth now. Just step away. Turn towards those connections that feel nourishing to your soul and learn to share yourself without fear. Now, I want to say one thing about this. If turning to someone you don't know because you think the grass is greener on the other side without fixing self first, that's a recipe for disaster. And ask me how I know that, because I've done that in my life, thinking, oh, I'm much happier over here with so and so, but that's partly because so and so don't know you. So and so hasn't experienced all of you yet. And you just take that woundedness right over there to so and so will begin triggering you not too far in the future. So that's what I feel this is saying. You got to get in there, step away, and take a look at self. Got to heal that self. You do not have to force the planets to spin, nor the great cycles of the soul to happen. All that is required is that you show up for what is offered to you now. Do your part, take your steps, dance, sing, and be, and allow the gifts of sacred connection to change your world. For this is the spiritual gift presented to you now. This oracle comes with a special message. Perhaps you have been thinking about shedding lower vibrational connections based in the ego world of power games, sabotage, manipulation, and fear. Perhaps you have already begun this process, or even shed so many that you are fearing you might have over pruned to be left with nothing and no one. Do not fear, feisty angel of love. Your truth is prevailing. You cannot stay in a vibration of fear if you want to dwell in a vibration of love. Whilst you learn to sustain that vibration within you until it cannot be rattled by any crisis or demand, you are wise to place yourself in more nourishing connections. That's what I was just speaking about by running to this guy over here, because he looks like the grass is greener over here. That's just more fear showing itself to me. If you want a plant to grow, why not give it the best soil and conditions in which to do so? Certainly, the plant of love can and will grow in the most inhospitable conditions, but it can be rather more joyful to grow in gentler, more nourishing conditions if possible. This oracle comes with the guidance that the possibility for more joyful relationships and growth of love within is in your power. You can choose each day, each moment. Just make a choice. Trust yourself, your discernment, and your intuition, and choose. You do not owe anyone anything. And that's a true statement, by the way. No matter how long you might know them, how long, look, my marriage was 28 and a half years. And I absolutely sat every other day thinking of how it would be so much easier if someone would come along that he could love, that would love him the way he deserved to be loved. And I created that situation for myself. And then I was all too surprised when I found out that I had. Repeat this law of karma. You only owe love the chance to grow. So let that be your guiding principle now as you release the old and trust that even if your garden of relationship becomes sparse for a while, you have been cutting back unhealthy plants to allow for new life to flourish. It is only a matter of timing for the season of new life and growth to come again. And so it shall, and so it shall, bringing with it sacred convergence of souls on the path of love, your soul tribe, your soul family, your new tribe of those journeying upon the path of love. And see, for me, the very first thing that I had to realize was that I didn't know me. Every relationship that I'd ever gotten into, if I didn't know me, how did I expect them to figure out who I was? And I certainly wasn't presenting myself as myself. So it's no wonder these relationships didn't work and didn't serve and ended up becoming something that was unhappy for everybody concerned. So that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful for you. Boy, it sure has for me. Very eye-opening indeed, actually. And it actually even tells me that I am still on the right path. Even though in that conversation that I had with Crystal the other day, which I highly recommend, and we're probably going to have more conversation along that line. I love what James said, actually. James Whitkiss had said, let me go over here. Let me see if I can see this at the time. He was saying something to the effect that he has been allowing himself more to come forward. And so he recognizes that as a deep adjusting of his framework. And I hadn't even considered that. And I did ask for anyone that watches that conversation to please chime in, comment. Let's get some conversation going about these sorts of things. That is one of the reasons that I started Conscious Conversation Central all those years ago, was to have these sorts of conversations. They're very enlightening and helpful to me. I mean, I so enjoy them. And I hope that anyone and everyone that tunes in, wow, there's an awful lot of, that was right down our street almost. I live pretty close to an older folks facility, but it didn't stop there. It went past there. So that's very interesting. At any rate, that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you, got something out of it. So let's see. Wait a minute. I'm trying. There we go. Till next time, I love you guys. I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It is just a matter of your perspective, your perception of that perspective, and be well, my friends. Until next time. Oh, and just one more thing. If you're watching this here on Sassy Seer Sheila, be sure to also subscribe to New Light Streaming Love. And I will put a link in that. But all you have to do is YouTube search New Light, KNEW, Light Streaming Love, and subscribe in both places, because I will be doing lives in both places from time to time. Most of what I will be doing is on New Light Streaming Love, but I don't wish to totally abandon this channel either. So to make sure that you're getting, everything, and that you're getting things from my collaborative partners who haven't been real active right now, but I suspect that they will be coming back and being more active. in times in the future. So until then, be well, my friends.